I think we should just make a montage of the knife making process. You guys kind of know what goes into it. We'll give you a recap.
However, I don't think together we've made anything big.
No.
So it's just a bigger montage.
Yeah, legit, like bigger, bigger montage. This is gonna be a process. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Talon. I make new videos every week. And if you're not new here, you probably know Ryan already.
What's going on?
At Ryan's shop today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next week. I don't know.
Sounds good.
We're just gonna be making blades and hanging out. Instead of like making a dedicated project like we've done in years past when I came to visit, I figured we're just gonna kind of do some fun stuff. This is gonna be more like vlog style, just us hanging out, brainstorming, more just like raw video of our entire process. Well, I should say Ryan's process.
But creative process.
Creative process.
Collabing, so yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna start off with like an easy one to get the creative juices flowing, and then we might turn it up to 11 and do some wild stuff. Again, over the next couple of days. So this is day one at Two Feathers Productions here in Pennsylvania. What are we starting with?
G10 SD3.
Kind of cheating already with this
Kind
one.
of. I already made something to kind of prototype it.
And this is sick. We've talked about doing this in the past, actually. You've kind of made something similar to this in the past, not with this blade, Collab blade, but
right.
This is the SD3, which we released a little while ago, kind of self-defense style, fixed blade, of course, and it's completely G10. So this is thicker G10 than you typically use on your handles.
That is 1/4 inch. That was just a piece of scrap that worked.
This is a normal. Okay.
That's normal thickness.
And this is the layer G10 that you will find on the handles of the blades that he makes. But you got new material over here.
New material, yes. So we went quite a bit thicker.
What is this, 1/4? No.
No, so that's 1/4. This is 398.
0.398.
So it's a little thicker than that, but
Super thick G10. We have some gray and some black, and we're going to make unmetal detectable SD3s.
yes.
Use that information how you want to use it. This is really just for fun. We just want to do it just to kind of see how it'll feel. This one is completely flat-sided, so there's no like typical groove in the handle of the blade. Did you make a sheath for this?
I didn't.
Okay. That'll be some more of the creative process too. So we're gonna run through the process of making one of these to kick things off. Shop's looking a little different. I walked in here and I was like, wow, there's like nothing in here. It looks like a normal garage. Got the fireplace going because it's a little cold here, 30 degrees, and
We got Dexter's lab over there.
yeah, looks like straight up Dexter. So Ryan moved all of his equipment into this like underneath section over here, which is basically to keep dust down. So the entire knife making process is gonna go on right in here. Obviously, making blades by hand from scratch gets really messy, so it'll keep the rest of the shop clean. You have so much space in here anyway, so
Yeah.
it just makes sense to do that.
Definitely works out better.
And respirators while you're working in there.
Yeah, because now all of the dust really accumulates around you.
Yeah,
So while I'll get more covered, the shop won't get more covered.
that's smart for sure. Now again, we're just doing this for fun. Not sure if this will make it to the website or anything at some point, but I mean, this material is not cheap. Super thick G10, so I guess let us know what you guys think about a G10 self-defense stick in the comments down below. Maybe we could make more. Maybe Ryan could make more.
Possibly.
Possibly. Maybe we should show them what this like thinner prototype is capable of real quick.
Yeah, we could do that.
Just to give them an idea of what you can do with something like this. So these are 2x6s.
Yes.
Fresh.
Fresh.
And that's beveled on both sides, so it's pretty much what you would expect out of an SD3, but penetration.
Yeah.
Completely unfazed. A little harder.
Ah.
You're gonna slam your fist through it. Gosh. Effective, to say the least. Yeah, that's crazy. Not sharp, obviously.
Nope.
Let's do it. Let's make some thicker ones. All right, so Ryan already drew out the SD3 on the material, obviously. Walking into the lab. Feels like a lab now.
Yeah.
First step, cutting off the excess. Respirator on. It's gonna sound funny.
There we go.
Guess you go straight to the shaping now, huh?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is turn it sideways just to make sure like this is straight. Like all the straights are good and there's no like weird divots from trying to do it vertical. We're just gonna turn everything horizontal.
Whew. That was a great idea, setting up all the tarps and Dexter lab.
Well, like you smell the G10 still out here, but that's because of what's on you, really. Like it's all mostly contained.
All cut down to shape. Now we get to draw a little bit. This looks like such a big blade before the bevels are in it.
Now to figure out, well, this is always standard, so make hole placements.
Now, while this is going on, it looks like I'm not doing anything, because I'm not. But I am brainstorming for this creative blade. What is the max length you could, in theory, make with your quench blades? Blade and handle, full length.
Overall length, 22 inches.
22.
That gives us an inch on either side of the quench plate. See, yeah, I went 50 thousandths, and it's still coming to center because of the, all right, so we're gonna center line that.
Drilling holes through the handles here to add some kind of material if you want to, or if you don't want to.
Yeah, just give you the option.
You could wrap it to a stick with seaweed when you're stranded on an island and spear fish with it.
That's not gonna rust.
It's not gonna rust. This is better than H2 or whatever the hell some companies use. Making sure it's extra flat there.
Just getting like the belt leaves residue behind, so just taking most of it off.
Can't use magnets on those.
Nope.
All right, we're getting very close now. It's hard to come through on video, but this thicker material feels crazy. So you did the bevels, 45s all around, kind of scuffed up the shiny part of the G10, and this feels more like a tool than the thinner variant that he originally started with. It's hard to describe though.
Yeah, it does feel like an actual knife. Like you're stacking G10 and steel for a knife. Like this ends up being similar thickness. It feels.
Yeah, it feels like a very thin version of, I guess, the SD3, obviously, but.
But actually thicker overall.
And there's weight to it too. Like you don't think of weight when it comes to G10. You think, oh, lightweight, but it feels like a tool.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Now I guess handles.
Maybe we'll do a groove in one. That way it's just what it is, and wrap the other one. Or do we wrap? Well, we could groove and wrap. Then we know what everything will be.
Yeah, groove and wrap could probably feel pretty cool. I think just straight wrap would probably feel cool too.
Yeah,
and then you could make a proper sheath with this too, almost, because it's so thick.
Yes.
There's a lot of points to grab retention from, so.
On to the next step.
Yeah. All right, we've been playing arts and crafts for the past 30 minutes. I told Ryan we went from knife making to messing around with paracord, but I didn't do a great job. I don't really mess around with paracord that often, but this is the handle I came up with. We just gutted some regular 550, so it's not going to lay perfectly flat unless you're like super meticulous with it and everything, but used the hole up front to start, ran it through the hole in the back, looped it through, tied a little knot. And this honestly doesn't need much more of a handle.
No.
Just because of how thick it is. Ryan actually put some grooves in his like he does on the G10 on like the actual blades.
And then just flat wrapped paracord to see how it would feel. I didn't even gut the paracord.
I mean, you can kind of do whatever you want with it too.
Well, that's the nice part. Like, you don't like the paracord, take it off.
Yeah, especially because it's already super lightweight. It's just G10, so having a little bit of a purchase on it makes it feel a little better. So we're thinking about positioning of plastic clip in waistband, obviously. Best way is going to be blade side.
Yep.
Like you just said, because you can left, right hand, reverse grip, regular grip, and that would be strong side for me, but then also, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, but that would probably be the best way.
Yep. If you have firearm, I have the ability to control and pull.
Yeah, because, I mean, in my case, flew here, don't have anything to carry.
Right.
But at home, have something to carry. Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah, so like support side, you have something.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to cut, we're trying to poke a hole, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, true. We're getting real close now with at least one version of a sheath. Got the holes all drilled out and just wrapping it super tight with paracord. Instead of a sheath that you would think of like getting one of Ryan's fixed blades, it's more of a Kydex pocket to keep the G10 blade in, because you don't need a ton of retention. You don't need something like super stout like a sheath would
Right.
be. It's really just a place to keep it without it poking you while you're carrying it. This one in particular, obviously designed for in the waistband, plastic clip, paracord, Kydex, more paracord, G10, no metal.
No metal. That's the whole, like there's no metal.
It's better now that it's lower. This made sense not having it that way originally, but now that it's on there, it's harder to put it
the clip
on
on.
because of that. And because of the thickness of the G10 already, I don't think you're even going to notice
Feel it in the
that.
back. You're right.
And then if it's on there and fixed and you cut it close and burn it, you can like crush it flat.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's so light. Like I'm used to, like the SD3, I will occasionally throw it in my waistband like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's in my pocket, but I'll carry it like that. That feels like there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's wild.
So maybe that clip actually is pretty good now that it's like positioned properly and everything. So we're not done yet, but we're figuring out the best way to tie and wrap this, and it's actually really nice already. Having the flat paracord on there kind of adds like a stop too. I'll probably redo this at some point with like actual flat paracord instead of round, but that's what we're working with now. I mean, it's super easy to put on and take off there too. Totally move around with it, and it just kind of like moves with you. The cool thing is you can just raise it or lower it too with the paracord if you wanted to.
Yep. You could also flip it. Like you could move the clip to the other side, have the whole thing turned in. Yeah.
Yeah, in case I would want to draw like that.
Yep. Just by unwrapping it and moving it.
And we're done. This is what we came up with for now. Again, prototype, but trying different things between the black blade,
Poker?
poker, black
Yeah.
poker,
SD poker.
the gray poker, SD poker, the STP.
There we go.
Different paracord wraps. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. You can
Yeah.
do paracord handle, no paracord handle,
No metal.
no metal. It rides really nice. Again, super lightweight, so I mean, I feel like I could wear that all day. Well, cool. There is the SD3 poker in G10. It's like a freaking, not half inch thick. I want to say half inch, but super
Close
chunky.
enough. It's 100 thousandths off of a half.
Yeah, it's rad. So let us know what you guys think. Is that something you would want? Or did we just make these for ourselves?
Right.
The end of the day, it's still cool. So it's fidgety.
It is.
Just because like it feels like an SD3, but it's even thicker, I think, and it's just like, feels like a toy. Totally not a toy,
Right.
but
The other fidgety part is you're not going to cut yourself.
yeah, like I'm flipping it around in my
Right.
hand. I'm like, I can just kind of grab it how you would never grab an actual blade. And all right, now it's time to draw the big project. Came up with an idea. I think we should just make a montage of the knife making process. You guys kind of know what goes into it. We'll give you a recap.
However, I don't think together we've made anything big.
No.
So it's just a bigger montage.
Yeah, legit, like bigger, bigger montage. This is gonna be a process. So this was day one, made some fun pokies, and now I wonder how long this is gonna take.
Longer than day one.
Longer than one day, let's say that. All right, let's draw. Okay, we're back. After, I'd say Ryan has been working on this for a couple hours, over 5 days, kind of off and on between trying new things, working on an absolutely massive blade. We designed this one kind of after the SD3.
Yeah, I mean, well, we made the G10 SD3. Right?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, the G10 SD3 that we made in the beginning of this video, Ryan came up with this solution right here. Instead of the paracord, It's like sports tape, hockey tape. I played hockey as a kid growing up, and it's like sticky and it looks kind of ragged, and I like that aspect of it actually. It feels really good in the hand because it's so thick, but basically took this and we're like, all right, let's make a giant version of this, also with like a chef knife aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold this thing behind my back right now. And this is the completed project now. A two-handed sword of an SD3, but like chef knife too. You make sushi rolls.
SD 3XL.
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 SD 3XL. Ryan did epoxy handles on this with like, what do you call these? Flow-through pins?
Yeah, hollow pin, just flow through, that works, yeah.
Yeah, so hollow pin in the front and the back. So if you decided to like chop with something like this, you could wrap a lanyard around it, paracord around your wrist to be a little bit safer. What is this steel though? Because that's something that's quite different.
Yeah, so it's a W2. So another high carbon steel, but you can see there's a lot of activity in that blade.
So much Hammond activity there across the bottom, and it's actually pretty damn even on both sides. I've seen Ryan's blades and the different Hammond activity that he gets out of certain steels, but this was the first time that I actually saw kind of the whole process. And it's cool because you don't really see it until you get closer into like the finishing process of grinding in the bevel and ferricking and all of that stuff. But this thing looks so rad. Total user because you make functional tools, but.
Well, and you were here for it. There's no clay added to that. That's all just thermal cycling.
And if you guys are not familiar with like the Hammond line and everything, essentially this line that you can see in the blade where it looks discolored, this is actually harder steel than that above it. So makes it a little more resilient. You can really slam on a knife like this. And this isn't gonna be apparent in every kind of steel, but in this one in particular, this thing looks so rad.
Get a lot of flexibility out of that too. Well, you saw.
There was flexibility. I'll let you on that. What was the most challenging piece of that? I kind of have an idea, but fill the people in.
Keeping it straight, well, straightening it so that I could grind it straight was probably the most challenging portion of this.
Speaking of that, overall length here comes out to almost exactly 22, which is about the limit of the quench plates and the tools that you have to work with.
Yeah.
And your wife was actually like, why are you guys making a knife so big? I said, I've never seen him make a large knife like this. I've seen blades that you've made like that, but I wanted to see actually what went into it. And there was a lot more time and effort into something like this than a smaller blade.
And I said, why not a blade this big?
Why not? It's so sick. It's like a chef knife sword, SD3. It's like a combination of a lot of different things.
Like you're gonna hack stuff. You build a shelter with this.
Yeah.
And then you could cut your food with it when you're done.
Surprisingly lighter than it looks too because of how much material was taken off for that really large bevel. It was awesome to see it come together. So as of right now, maybe forever, this is probably a one of one, and this is gonna be listed on the website after we take some photos, maybe have some fun with it. We're not gonna beat on it in this video because it is gonna be available for purchase. We're not gonna throw it. We're not gonna like chop through wood with it. We'll leave that up to whoever buys it.
Right.
So if this video goes live a week from today, so say Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern,
Yep.
I might get in there and buy it before you guys. Not sure on the price yet. A lot of materials, a lot of time went into it, but you guys can find out right now if you're watching this video. This thing, it might be available or it might be gone already. So
Yeah, this was a fun project. Both of them were fun, but I have to say this was more fun of a project.
maybe we should make a template of it in case you decide to make another one.
Make another one?
Just kill yourself for another week working with hard material and
When you get to this point though, it's like, it's worth it.
it is.
Especially like seeing all the science come together, which is what you're seeing with the activity.
And so much of it, like when you get Hammond activity on a smaller blade, sure, it's cool.
Right.
But seeing like over a foot of it basically being so uniform, which is kind of luck of the draw. If you're doing your job right, you can make it pretty uniform, and killed it.
Killed it.
No sheath, maybe like a scabbard fold over Kydex thing will be in order, but
Maybe. It is a user.
Imagine having that thing on your hip, driving through the bush, and then just pulling it out of like a sheath or scabbard.
Yeah, you'd have to like this way.
Or rock it forward and like
Right.
come out with it.
Definitely resheathing would be safest this way, especially whoever gets it if they do leather, because it'll be a sheath eater. As fine as the point is, like if you're trying to like stick it through.
Yeah, it's gonna slice up the material.
Yeah.
All right, one more look. It like barely even fits in the frame. So it did kind of the sloping, swooping handle in the back, G10, straight pins through, epoxy with the hollow pins in the front and the rear, and then that flat grind, massive bevel on there. This thing's rad. It feels powerful. Any two-handed blade.
But it feels so light for
Yeah.
the size.
Like maneuverable, and not that you're gonna like process firewood with it, but it's, I would say, a little bit heavier than the Ignite.
Yeah. We should weigh it.
Let's weigh it quick. I'm gonna guess 3.5. Oh, way lighter. 2.4. 2 pounds, 4.1 ounces.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. So yeah, this is available right now on the website. You can follow Ryan for more shop updates and everything over on Instagram, and stay tuned for the next like mass drop. Maybe it's the SD3s. It's similar.
It's similar.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in the G10 ones, again, fun project, but I think they're pretty easy to make. Not like this.
No. Just functional too. Like in certain circumstances, situations, like can't have certain things on you. You got something.
Yeah. Well, cool. We'll leave it at that. If you guys have any questions on the knife making process, drop some comments down below, some questions, and we'll check back in with you guys when I'm back here to visit and we make something else. Can we get more ridiculous in this thing?
I just got to get bigger plates.
Bigger plates. All right, we'll do that for next time. All right, if you're new here, consider clicking subscribe and making videos every single week. As always, thanks for watching. Talk to you in the next one.